The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Maréchaussée Phantom. This is the one. The list of involved suspects should be... found it.
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders but who did not participate in the case, will not stand trial. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
Не имя, а кошмар. Прекращено в связи с его хорошими поведениями. Все остальные сотрудники остались в списке для наблюдений.
So many
Так много
names.
имен.
Is the one who sent that threatening letter to Kiara on the
Киаре
list?
письмо с угрозами.
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin, to be precise. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
И передвигается без особых ограничений.
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina du Rasula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote,
Он сказал,
"We have located the
цитирую,
suspect. They're chatting at the cafe."
Наши подозреваемые, они беседуют в кафе.
How did Navia find them so
Как
quickly?
Navia
We've
так
only
быстро их
just
нашла?
figured out
Мы
the
только что
suspect's
сейчас
name.
выяснили имя
I
подозреваемого.
too am
Я
perplexed.
тоже в недоумении.
The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head over and take a look.
Предлагаешь сходить туда и посмотреть.
Hey, Navia, we're here.
Нави, а вот и мы.
Whoa.
Ух ты,
Check out all
посмотри,
these
сколько людей.
people.
И вы тоже друзья Нави.
These are the people who have had recent
люди
dealings at the
недавно
Maréchaussée
имели дела
Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve
солнечными
Cendra, but I sent for
Обычно
someone
они
to invite them over.
прячутся в Флемсандер, но я послал за ним и пригласил
Invite
сюда.
them over.
Exactly. Now,
Именно так.
I
Я
heard there's
слышу,
great
что
coffee here,
здесь
and
отличный
so I
кофе,
asked
и
them if they'd
поэтому
like to come and
спросил
have
их, не
some.
хотят ли они выпить по чашечке.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
I've wanted to have a meet.
Странно все это.
But
Да, давайте вернемся к делу. Здесь есть человек по имени Эйсон.
Yes,
Да,
that's
это
me.
я.
You're Essin?
Ты Эйсон?
Yes,
Да, господин
yes, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Did you write that threatening letter to
Письмо с
Kiara?
угрозами Киаре.
I did.
Да, но
I
я
was
всего
just
лишь
following
исполнял
orders.
приказ.
Orders from whom?
Чей приказ?
Domenico. He was my
Доминико.
boss.
Он был
I
моим
couldn't
шефом. Я не
disobey
мог
his orders.
слушаться его приказа.
Domenico. Where is he
Доминико,
now?
где он
In the
сейчас?
fortress of
В
Meropide.
крепости Меропид.
Well,
Боюсь,
I'm
что
afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that
не
place.
сможешь проверить это место.
Looks like you'll have to make the trip
Может,
yourselves.
придется отправиться
This
в
was as much as I
путешествие
could do.
самим. Я сделал все, что могу.
You've done more than enough.
Ты сделал
I'm
более чем
extremely
достаточно.
grateful
Я
for your
чрезвычайно
help.
благодарен тебе за помощь.
Leave the formalities for later.
Оставим
You
церемонию
should
на
find
потом.
Domenico
Сначала нужно
first.
найти Доминика.
If he really is the
Если
one
он
setting up the
является
conspiracy,
организатором
it'd be
будет
best
лучше,
if he's
если его
exposed as soon as...
разоблачат
all right
как можно
then.
быстрее.
Let's head to the fortress
Хорошо,
right
тогда
now.
отправиться в крепость прямо сейчас.
fortress of
Как
Mirror
крепость
would be
Миопит
super
казалась
scary.
нам жуткой, но сейчас
looking
можно
back
с
on
уверенностью
it,
сказать, что
It
ничего
really
страшного
wasn't. You've
там
got a
нет.
set schedule,
Здесь
guaranteed
есть
food and
установленное
board, and you
расписание
can
и
even buy
гарантированное
all
питание,
kinds
и
of
также
stuff with
можно
credit
покупать
coupons.
всевозможные
It's really
вещи.
no
Не
surprise
удивлен,
that
что
many
многие
people
не
don't
хотят
even want
покидать
to
лес.
leave. Oh, you mean
А ты имеешь в
Riza?
виду Ризли?
He's definitely a
Большинство
pretty impressive leader.
выдающихся руководителей.
Well, he does look kind of
Несмотря на грозный
intimidating.
вид,
He's
он
actually
довольно
pretty easy to talk to once you've had a
общительный, если с ним
conversation or two with him.
побеседовать пару раз.
Paimon wonders how he's
Поймал
like with the
задает
people
вопрос,
here.
как он относится к
Do they also
обитателям
get the
крепости,
same
так же,
guy
как к
we
нам,
do, or
или
is
с
he
плохими
a lot
правилами
harsher
особо.
with the bad guys? Yeah.
Да уж,
He must be
наверняка
doing
он
something
делает
right
все
to maintain
правильно,
order
раз
here,
поддерживает здесь
while not making
порядок и
everything feel
создавая при
super
этом ощущение
oppressive.
угнетенности.
Excuse me, did I hear someone there?
А?
Uh,
Готов
Paimon
поклясться,
could have
что
sworn she just
только
heard
что
something.
что-то слышит.
Excuse me, is
Извините, здесь
someone
кто-нибудь есть?
passing
Не
by?
могли бы вы
Could you do
оказать
me
мне
a
услугу,
favor?
пожалуйста?
Nope, Paimon
Нет,
wasn't
Поймон
dreaming.
не
There's someone
услышит,
over
он
there for
точно
sure.
кто-то есть, но Поймон никого не видит.
Oh, did you hear my call? Thank you so.
Ты
You're
в щеке.
inside the
Не
box?
удивительно, что Поймон тебя не
Oh, no
заметила.
wonder Paimon
Да,
didn't see
посмотрим.
anything. Why are
Зачем
you
ты
hiding
прячешься,
in here anyway? If
Если
we
бы
hadn't
мы
happened to
случайно
pass
не
by, you
проходили
could have been
мимо,
stuck
ты
for
мог
days.
бы просидеть здесь несколько дней.
It's a bit complicated. Can we not talk about that for now?
Whoa,
О,
that's
это
terrible.
ужасно.
Did
Неужели
someone seriously do
кто
that
так
to
с
you?
тобой поступил?
No, it was
Ничего
nothing quite
настолько
that
страшного, мне
serious.
просто
I just
нужно
like
помощь,
some
чтобы
help
найти
finding my
головной
hat.
убор.
Just your hat? Huh. Wait, Paimon gets it. Something must have happened to your hair. Sorry.
Прости, так вот, что произошло. Поймал, все
Paimon gets it
поняла.
now.
Уверен, что тебе
No
пришлось
wonder why you had
прятаться
to
в
hide
ящике.
inside the box. You just need your hat,
Тебе
right?
нужно вернуть
We'll
свой
get it back to
головной
you
убор,
right
сейчас
away.
поищем,
What
кстати,
kind
как
of
он
hat?
I
выглядит.
think you may have missed it. It's a soft and brown. I think that it's really
Оно очень
important
важно
to
для
me, so
меня.
your
Поэтому
help
ваша
would
помощь
mean the
будет
world.
неоценима, я буду ждать вас.
Don't worry, we'll be
Я
back
очень
in
скоро
no
вернусь.
Paimon doesn't see anything here. Let's go somewhere else. Just where is that thing? Oh, this is taking... Nothing in the water
В
either.
воде ничего нет, Пойма подумала, вдруг он
Paimon thought it
оказался в
might...
воде.
Oh, we've looked
Мы искали
everywhere and
везде, но
still
так и
not
не
seen
нашли ничего
anything that
похожего.
looks like a hat. That's a
Отличный
good idea.
Если ему
If he's
всё
just
еще
looking to
покрыть
cover his
голову,
head,
то
then it
не
shouldn't.
знаешь
Why don't
чем.
we check out the rag and bone
Пойдем в
shop?
магазин.
If memory serves, they got all. You let well, either way, let's. Paimon doesn't remember you being the boss.
I'm just now. Just wait a sec. Oh, you must be the legend.
No,
Sorry. I hope you find it.
there's no need to put yourself.
Why, your heroic act. We heard that you were personally, and you're one of His Grace's favorite people. After all, I mean, we've all got.
Oh, so now you're trying to kiss up?
Well, I did mean it when I called. Oh, enough of that. Is there something you look? No problem. Hey, feel free to check out anything you want.
Wait, but that's
Well, it's not like I'm getting. Life's been pretty good recently, so I might as well.
all right. Paimon will take a look.
Are you sure you don't want more?
It's all right. Two will do. It just doesn't feel the same if the owners. But anyway, we don't need to get into that right now. We can discuss Paimon. Thank you so much.
No problem, and thank you.
That's a real sneaky way of getting good reviews. We've been gone a while. Paimon hopes that guy in the box hasn't passed out from lack of air.
Welcome to the Fortress of Meripede, dear esteemed guests.
We're back! Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself! Guess we've made a name for ourselves at this place.
This isn't anything new.
Это не новость.
I figured you had
полагаю, что у
important
вас
matters to
важные
discuss
дела,
when the two of
которые
you,
нужно
not to
обсудить.
mention the Chief Justice,
Да вы
showed
не
up.
говорите уже о Верховном суде, пожалуйста.
Let's assume we've gone through the
Будем
pleasantries and
считать,
cut
что
right to
мы
the chase.
обменялись любезностью и переходим сразу к делу.
I do remember a thing or two
Я
about
кое-что
Domenico.
припоминаю о Доминико.
He once attempted to round up the other
Пытался
inmates and
организовать
instigate a
акции
protest.
протеста среди
Who does this guy
ученых.
think he is?
Кем это пытается разумнуть?
Paimon hopes nothing
Последствий
came of
ведь
it.
не было, верно?
He once attempted
Сказал,
to,
что
I
однажды
said,
попытался,
meaning that it was
имея в
over
виду,
before it even started.
имея в виду,
And now he's
что
threatening
было
Melazines,
закончено
is he?
еще до того, как началось, а теперь он угрожает Мелюзинам.
To be honest, Domenico
Честно
doesn't seem
говоря,
like much of a
Доминика не
conspirator.
очень-то
The
похож
fact
на
that the
заговорщика,
three of
тот
you
факт,
bothered
что
to
вы
personally
втроем
investigate raises a
потрудились
flag.
провести расследование.
Is there something else going on behind?
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this
Я
incident because something similar has occurred in the past.
Поскольку
I
подобное
wish to meet
происходило,
Domenico in person
мягко
and have my
говоря,
questions answered.
встретиться с Доминикой и получить ответ на вопрос.
That's an easy one.
Проще
Let me
простого.
think.
Дайте
I
подумать,
think he's at...
по-моему, он в
Did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened? Siegeween!
Сиджвин.
Yeah, and we're
Да, и мы видим
investigating. The
расследование.
person
Человек,
who
который
threatened her
угрожал,
seems to be imprisoned here.
просто содержится здесь в
Really?
заключении.
Is Kiara gonna be okay?
There's no need to
Не
worry.
стоит беспокоиться.
Clarande is protecting her
Флорина
as we
защищает
speak.
её, пока мы здесь сидим.
Well, that's great.
Это замечательно, но если
But if the
преступник все
criminal's
еще
still-
герцог, он
Is there-
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me? Writhsley.
Ризли.
Okay, I get it.
Я
I'll bring
помню,
Domenico
приведу
to you.
Доминика к вам. Это
That's
ваше
your only
единственное
demand.
требование, верно?
Think of it as more of a
Я скорее
humble
склонна к
request.
просьбе ездить по
I'm here on my
собственной
own accord,
инициативе
not to
и
formally
для того,
transfer a
чтобы
criminal
официально
for trial.
передавать преступника
I
суду.
urge you to set aside any
После
concerns.
опасений.
Thanks for the trouble.
Вы
Consider
будете
me in
благодарны
your
за
debt.
помощь. Считайте, что я у тебя в долгу.
Whoa! If Paima were you here, Grace, Paima would take this chance to ask for some.
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Neuvillette would reject that.
Уверен, что Невиль отклонил эту просьбу.
But enough jokes. I'll look for... Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Please come with me to the infirmary. Ah, and watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas.
To Neuvillette?
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh?
Please rest here for a moment.
Пожалуйста, отдохните немного.
Oh, and would anyone like anything to drink?
Принеси Невилет и Пайма, принести вам напитки.
not that thirsty, but
Пайма не
thanks
особо
anyway.
хочет пить, но все равно спасибо.
Thirst is a warning sign that you're
Жажда — это
dehydrated,
сигнал
which
предупреждения
means you have to drink up even before that.
организма. А значит, пить нужно до того, как ощутить ее.
I'll bring you some
Я
tea.
принесу чай.
I'm sure you'll have a
Уверена,
lot
вам
to talk
будет
about.
о чем поговорить. Наконец-таки чай принесут. А не воду.
Typical Sijuin. Concerned about everyone's health as
Это
always.
Сиджин. Как всегда беспокоится о состоянии здоровья.
Why aren't you two saying anything?
А вы почему молчите?
You noticed them
Ты
too.
тоже обратил
The
внимание.
badges they
Значки,
wore on their
которые
chests
они
looked quite
носили
familiar.
на груди, показали мне очень знакомыми.
Familiar? But if both of
Но
you say
если вы
so,
так
let's go
говорите,
ask them about
надо
it.
расспрашивать об этом.
That's not a bad idea.
Вот этих троих я вообще читать не буду.
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested in
What's that?
We have a very long history, going back as far. We have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a helping each other is our purpose. At the same time,
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
all we want is to defend ourselves, but people won't give us a hard.
Interested in joining the mutual aid network? If you'd like to learn more, here's our Our slogan may have evolved over the centuries, but here, this book.
You two look kind of It's the symbol of, from what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals from. The first president of our network was all of us have a.
We should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk to Neverlet.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who work the badges belong to an organization called the Mutual Aid Network.
Организация под названием Группа взаимопомощи.
According to them, the badge's
По их
design
словам,
was
в основном
inspired by the Medal of
основу
Peace.
дизайна значка
Have
для
you seen any of those
медаль
before?
«Медаль за мир».
I personally crafted two of them myself.
Две медали.
They
Они
were
были
awarded to
вручены
Carol in
Карлу и
Vautrin.
Вотрину.
Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire.
Во время пожара
The only one that
старший
remained should belong to
Вотрину.
Vautrin.
Oh, so the network was in.
Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office.
All right.
Worthless!
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman, Domenico.
Позвольте представим вам этого замечательного господина
Why don't you
Доминика.
explain everything
Почему
to
бы
him?
тебе не объяснить ему все?
Neuvillette? What do you
Что ты
want?
хочешь, чтобы
What are you gonna do?
собираешься сделать?
Kill me?
Убить меня?
Calm down.
Успокойся,
Merely
я
want to
решил
ask you a
задать
few
тебе несколько
questions.
вопросов.
Was it your idea
Это
to
была
send
твоя
that letter
идея
to a
поставить
melazine?
письмо с угрозами Мелузины.
Assin has already confessed.
That idiot!
Этот
I
идиот
can't
не
believe I
мог
trusted
поверить,
him.
что я ему доверю.
Let me ask this another way.
Спрошу
It was
еще
your
раз, это
idea
была
to send
твоя
that
идея
letter,
послать
correct?
письмо с угрозами Мелузине?
Yes.
Да.
Who is pulling your
Кто стоит за этим?
strings?
What? You're not trying to
Ты же не
frame me for
пытаешься
something I haven't
обвинить
done,
меня
are you?
в том, что такое я не совершал.
It's best if you
Будет
realize
лучше,
the
если ты
gravity of your
осознаешь всю
situation.
свою серьезность
The
своего
Chief Justice
положения.
of Fontaine has been
Судья
personally
Фонтейн лично
investigating your case. I
следит.
assume your previous
Полагаю,
attempt to
твоя
incite
предыдущая
unrest at the
попытка-
fortress of Meripede has something to do with it.
Я признаю,
I
что
admit I acted on
действительно
impulse.
импульсивно расскажу вам
I'll tell you the
правду.
truth.
Но прежде
But before that, you
вы
must
должны
ensure my
гарантировать мою
safety.
безопасность.
I can do that.
Обещаю.
You see,
Не
we're all
переживай, мы все
reasonable people here.
разумные люди.
I only intended to do some small business at first. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Maréchal, but I refuse to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt.
And then you decided
потом
to
ты решил
take
отомстить
revenge
Мелизим за
on
это.
the Melazines?
My initial target was Neuvillette.
Моя первоначальная цель
Everyone in the
был
forces of
Мервиль. В
Meripede
конце
was declared
концов,
guilty
он
by him,
признал
after
всех
all.
обитателей
So they must more or less hold a grudge against them, right?
Они должны были
If I could get them to strike back.
затаить на меня. На него злобу, верно? Если бы мне удалось заставить их нанести ответный удар.
But
но
for some
почему-то
reason,
никто
no
не
one wanted to
хотел со
team
мной
up with me.
понять. Эта группа
That
взаимопомощи
mutual
решила
aid network in
достичь, что
particular What did those nobodies even gain from trying to challenge me? Seriously. In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melody. I recall that Kiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection, but the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I request...
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. That's all I...
Sijuin, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melazines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared for any possibility.
And how long ago was this incident?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melazine...
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melazines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their... When people refused to place their trust in Melazines, it was because they were still on the fence about you. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you and even consider you a symbol of the law. Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duties. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for answers through my judgments. It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard.
There's no need to be so... You're no longer that outside...
I must say that you've made a fair... Thank you for clearing my doubt.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted...
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say.
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
I know of which. The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Mermonia's staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today...
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
Great! That's one thing out of the way.
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity.
Yep. Neuvillette thought their badges looked familiar.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the fortress of Meripede. They were not great in number, but I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fortress. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. He had never once, in other words, how he presented himself in prison.
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had...
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impart. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one. That's all from me. Does anyone else have anything to say? Now's your chance.
I don't have anything to say. Apart, well then, let us head back. No need to...
Please, take care.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but... I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Risley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on, Hey! Any comments?
What I really think is, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
That is indeed a reason. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice these changes were not due to any specific... I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Oh, huh? It's raining! Oh no, Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Mirapede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Neuvillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
Is the matter resolved?
Дело раскрыто.
Yep. We found the person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melusines should be safe now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sorry for dragging you all into this.
There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our own accord.
By the way...
At the Palais Marmonia, more than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to look out for danger. I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy, so I asked her to stay inside the Palais. It's very safe in there.
What a relief!
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled. To celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur Nouvelette, would you be interested in an exclusive interview?
That's not how you celebrate!
I will consider it.
Really?
Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should be available next month. Come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes! Thank you so much!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize our investigation results. I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
These newcomers are full of enthusiasm.
Kiara?
О, месье Невилет, простите, я случайно заснула.
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of that threatening letter.
Sorry,
You're safe
I
now.
accidentally fell asleep. Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really...
Do you remember Domenico? He was the second.
Let me think. I can't remember. My memory isn't that good, so... By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. Where's she gone by? In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, Kiara, our dreams have finally come true. I can't remember what our dreams were anymore, and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette. Oh, I almost forgot. Am I allowed to go out now? I promised to model for Alof.
Of course. Off you.
See you next time, Monsieur, Traveler, and Big Sis Paimon.
See you next time.
Так, ну вот и все. Сюжет закончился. Всем пока.